Nate, my apologies that you're sick. Hopefully you watch this and you feel better. If not, don't come back until you do. I mean, I don't want him to get us sick. All right, here's our town mayor again.
Oh, I thought you said if you didn't watch it.
Crap. Well, so our little video is not working. I'm going to try to get in here a different way. But so think about the town mayor. Read that situation. So the town mayor has decided that he is going to go and walk to the bus stop right by, I'm making some of this up, walk to the bus stop right by town hall. So, you know, the mayor works in town hall. He walks to that bus stop and asks those people their opinions on the bus route. What's good about that and what's not good about that? Right?
Usually if you're riding the bus, you're going to do that often to go to work.
I think it's time I finally start taking the bus home from work. Maybe the driver didn't see me. This is ridiculous. Clearly, we need new bus routes in this town.
Running for the bus, you're like, wait! And they're like, ha ha ha, and they leave you. Yeah, that's not cool. So the mayor talks to the people at his bus stop, right? But we're trying to get information about all of the bus routes in the town. So again, pros and cons. What do you think? Write down a couple pros and cons. What are some pros? What are some cons about this? Cons are the best potato chips.
Yes, they are.
C-O-N-N-S. Actually, there's, I can't think of the name, but there's a brand that I just had for the first time. Who's got pros? Good, like advantages to doing this. Why would the mayor decide this? What good things do you think he thought about? Zach?
Because if there's a person at his stop that also is upset, then they could they could give ideas to him.
Okay, so you'll get some ideas, right? So, I guess we'll say get feedback. Like, you are going to have a sample. You are going to talk to people. You'll collect some data, which is the point of getting a sample. Was that a hand or no? Anyone have any cons?
It might be biased because he's just at a bus stop.
If you only talk to the people at the town hall stop, that is totally biased. Because you only talk to people at one stop. I have another pro that I'm thinking of. If I was the mayor, I'm okay with taking the sample like this because I work at town hall. That bus stop is at town hall. What are we trying to get you to say? Think about today's lesson name.
Oh, convenient.
Oh.
Sheeb.
It is a convenient sample.
What does convenient mean?
Close to profound, like you can just go nearby.
I want blue. This is easy. The bus stop right next to where I work is easy. My data's biased because it's only one bus stop, but it's super easy. So a convenience sample, and we're going to talk about the definition here in just a second, but a convenience sample has to be easy, and in order for people to be in your sample, they have to be available. So I couldn't say my convenience sample is the Accelerated 7 class and then choose Nate, because Nate's not available right now. Hi, Nate. So you have to have items, members of your population that are convenient to you and available to be in your sample. So essentially that box there on your paper where it says
I can't survey
sampling,
every
the
member.
main things that
I'll
you need
take
in
a
there-
sample.
No, not new tab. What are you doing? Where are we at? Right here? Give me my highlighter. Convenient and available is really what I want you to write there. Convenient and available. That's all you have to ask yourself to determine, is it a convenient sample? And obviously easy is another word for convenience. So if I was choosing samples, would, say I want to do some data about high schoolers in Worthington. Could I choose Worthington Academy as a sample, and would it be convenient?
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. Are they available to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like right there. Could I choose Thomas Worthington students? Yeah. Are they convenient? No. Do I know if they're available? Not until I get over there, and not until I, start collecting my sample. So you gotta think, is it convenient? Is it available? Pretty straightforward. So when you collect a convenient sample, all you really do is look at who's close to you and pick those people. Look at what's easy. So if I'm the researcher, these people are closest to me. Hey, you're my sample now. Your homework, by the way, is pretty darn easy.
Just yes or no.
How many
It's like,
questions?
is this a convenient sample? Or how would you choose a convenient sample? Or like,
Because
because sampling is pretty straightforward. So take a second to look these over. Then I'm going to use cards to call you guys. Take a second. Write down your own answers on your paper. Trying to give you time so I don't blindside you when I pick on you.
Wait, are we saying? Oh,
Is it a convenient sample? If not, say what kind of sample it is. I know they don't ask that, but I'm asking that. If not, ask yourself, what kind of sample is it? If you can figure it out. We haven't covered all the sampling methods, but I bet you can probably guess. Noah, if I put an ad in the school newspaper for my research project and accept the first 10 students who volunteer, is that a convenient sample?
Can't figure this one out because I'm not sure some people would necessarily volunteer.
So let's say Phoenix had a newspaper. It did a few years ago. Phoenix Blab is what they called it. And you put an ad in there and you say, hi, I'm Noah. I'm a 7th grader. I'm doing this research project. Come and find me if you'd like to take part. You accept the first 10 people that come find you.
So it's easy, but it might not be available.
Well, if they came to find you, do you think they're available for your study?
I guess.
Yeah, if I'm not available, I'm not going to volunteer. So yes, because if they're volunteering, they came to me. Nothing is more convenient than having people come to me. And are they available? Well, if they came to me, you're available. That's like when you walk up and say, hey, I volunteer. You hand them your survey or something like that. Lily, if I put the names of all the students in a hat and pull out 10 names at random, is that a convenient sample?
I don't think so, because you would have to go find them.
Ooh, exactly. You would have to go find them. You don't know if they're available. Think about it. I put the names of all students in the hat. Are all students here today? No. Some students are absent. Some students are across the building. Some students might be at another school for a visit or something. So that is not, it's kind of convenient, but it's not readily available. And some of the people may not be convenient. Olivia, if I just choose the first 10 kids I see, let's say I stand in the commons and I choose the first 10 people.
No.
Would those 10 people, if I see them, are they convenient to me?
They're convenient, but they might not be available.
So this is where this one does get a little bit tricky. If I'm able to choose them, we kind of assume that they're available. Because if I'm standing in the commons and I'm saying, hey, do you like butterscotch? Or whatever you're researching, that they're in that moment, they're available to you. So since you see them, we're going to say they're available because they're right there. If let's say I looked at like a list of people and chose the first 10 that I saw, then I don't know if they're available because I'm looking at a list. But when I see the person, they're available to me. Huh? So try the guided on your own, real quick. See which of these are convenient samples, which of them are not. Mr. Boyer, if you choose the first 20 students that you see, is that a convenient sample?
Yes.
Yeah, because I see them, so they must be available. And the first 20, that's pretty easy to collect. Shahib, if you choose all of the students in your school band,
It'd be convenient in some let's say you're already in band
Okay.
with all the students there. Let's just say all the students are there, and then you could just choose all of them because they're literally right there.
Okay.
But you may not.
I'm gonna check this.
Plus, you'd have to go to band. You have to find the people.
So notice they're asking which one's not an instance of convenient sampling. So they say that, yeah, this is convenient because, like Shahib said, if you're in the band, because they say your school band, or if I just walk into the band room and like say, hey, I need a sample from all of you, it's easy to find. Like, right, they get together, they're all in the same place, they're all available to me. And yeah, we're assuming every person is there. So then all of the students in your classroom, that's like me right now, if I look around and say, you're my sample, I mean, we already kind of know because the answer's up here. No question or comment?
Comment for number 4.
Yeah?
You sort of have to go around to get all the people as opposed to the other ones where you can
Yeah.
just sit down.
I have to put in extra work if I'm going to choose students from each classroom. That is not convenient for me. They're probably available since I'm going to walk into a class and say, okay, you 10, come with me, but it's not convenient.
And you need a teacher's permission.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Or if
it's...
you're doing a test.
I know. So it's not convenient at all, and it's not convenient for the teacher either. All right, I got like 10 minutes, 12 minutes to meet my goal. So suppose you're a newspaper reporter and you're investigating the town's opinion of a new shopping center. There was a big issue in Westerville when Walmart wanted to come in and build a Walmart in Westerville. The town was pretty opposed to it. So they go out and they collect information about how people feel. So what are 3 ways to choose a convenience sample of town residents to interview? So there are multiple right answers here. Take a second to write down what you think. What are 3 ways to choose a convenient sample of the townspeople? Why?
One way, we're trying to find for the convenience.
Yeah.
Alright,
So we're always asking, is it convenient for me? Are they available to me?
so one way is you could like stand outside, like on the sidewalk by the street outside the TV station,
Okay.
and like the people that are walking by you, you could ask them how they feel about like getting a new.
Yeah. Stand on the sidewalk. Ask the people that walk by you. Is it convenient for you? Yeah. You're not going anywhere. The people are coming to you essentially. Are those people available when you see them? Yeah. Unless they like, forget you, walk away, like, which some people will, and then they just aren't part of your sample. And, shame on them. Their opinions won't be heard. Pranav?
You could ask your family if you're at home.
So that wouldn't be a very good sample. Will you get a little bit bigger than that? You're close, but...
Ask.
Yeah. In your neighborhood, we're assuming this is your neighborhood, or, you have a neighborhood, we're guessing. So you could just choose people in your neighborhood. So you could just, ask your neighbors, assuming you know them, stranger danger, all that stuff. Don't talk to people you don't know. Seth?
You could stand inside the mall and ask people what they think.
You could just go to the mall and stand there and ask people what they think as they walk by. Is that what you were going to say? No?
I think that would be biased.
How?
All of these are biased. Well, okay, standing on the street was not necessarily biased because you don't know who's walking by you, but a lot of times, almost always actually, a convenience sample ends up biased because it was a convenient sample. Did you have something else? Sorry, I think I kind of stole your thunder there. So, they have tons of solutions here. So there's more right answers than just this. But it's funny that you said the street outside the TV station because that's exactly what they use. Our neighborhood, it's convenient for me because it's my neighborhood. If I go to the new shopping center and just stand there and ask people, I'm going to get a sample, but it's totally biased.
Why would you shop there if you didn't want to be there?
Exactly. So when I ask the people in my neighborhood, there might be a bias, but because it's a neighborhood of people, the biases probably kind of cancel each other out. When Rye stood on the street, he has random people coming past him. their biases probably cancel out. But if you're at the new shopping center, the whole group that you talk to is probably going to be biased. Those biases will not cancel each other out. They're all going to have the same bias.
As long as if your neighborhood's right next to a mall.
Yeah, I mean that creates a little different situation. But here, my neighborhood's it's not really going to be super affected by that shopping center. So, okay, if Smart Ink could
It's not smart. It's dumb.
hello. So, the guy just asked for 3 more ways. Anyone have ways that they didn't mention? Because I have some questions to prod with.
You could go to the local deli.
Ooh, that's just what I was thinking of. So if you went to the deli, would that be biased
Yeah.
for a new shopping center? So that's where it gets kind of gray. So if the new shopping center was going to have a deli in it, that deli might, like the people at the old deli probably might have a bias about a new shopping center going in. That's why actually, funny enough, in well, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty certain that the Walmart that went in at Western what I was just referencing is not a super Walmart. It's just a normal, like you got your clothes and your home goods and whatever. It's just that stuff because of the town's opinion. When they surveyed people, they said, yeah, okay, we'll let a Walmart happen, but not a super monstrosity Walmart, just a regular Walmart. All right.
Well, see, the local strip mall, that's definitely going to have biased answers in it.
Right.
If you're shopping there and not at the new one, then it's kind of,
Is the Walmart?
So they pulled deli, strip mall, and students at your school. Local strip mall, like you just said, going to be completely biased. The deli, they say, actually is a pretty representative sample because the people at the deli are probably mixed enough because it's just the deli. Like, they don't necessarily care about the new shopping center or not. So, I'm not saying the people there don't have a bias, but the biases probably cancel each other out, right? Because there's probably a good mix of people. And then your friends at school, well, if you're all the same age group or all like the same like-minded people, you're going to have a bias in your group. We have a bias just because we are Phoenix. We think differently. We learn differently. We have a different outlook on education. So, we have a bias. Seth?
Is the Walmart that's across from the Kroger, is that a super Walmart?
Yes. Yeah. And to finish us out. So there are, and this is old, when this was made, there were about
Congratulations, you're our millionth hit today.
So you're
Wow,
doing
that's a lot of
about
hits.
How many hits a website gets? What's a hit? Yeah, every time somebody views a website, that's a hit. So you choose 20 of your favorite websites. Like Google keeps track of how often you go to websites. You choose your top 20, and you find out that 11 of them get more than 1 million hits a day. Was choosing your 20 favorite websites, was that convenient?
Yes.
Are they available to go to?
Yes.
So is this a convenient sample?
Yes.
Yeah. What's wrong with it? There's something very, very wrong with this sample.
It's yours. Like, it's not just like, it's what you go to, not what Seth for
Okay. I agree. Zach?
Also, like it's yours. So if you're like some weird person who really likes to look into like toilet paper stocks or whatever, then chances are others aren't going to have that strange hobby that you do.
Yeah.
So they're not going to like.
What's a website that if I asked you what websites are frequently visited, like by you, what's one that you would think of pretty quickly?
Netflix.
Google, right? A lot of people start at Google. Netflix, tons of people go to that. Weather Channel websites, lots of people check the weather. YouTube. I was waiting for somebody to get there. So if you're choosing your favorite websites, is there a bias on that? Yeah, a ginormous bias. Everyone on the internet is wasting their time. Oh, sorry. So that's what's wrong with the sample. But then, if we were asked to approximate, based off our sample, how many of the websites in the world have over, what does it say, over 1 million hits a day? I take my sample information and I create my constant of proportionality, which is always like how these values are related to each other. So it's like our percentage, right? So I've got part divided by whole. Here's what I'll just show the solution. So we do our part divided by our whole. We find that constant of proportionality. We then take that and multiply it by the population size. Because if I say 11 out of 20 websites, I'm saying 11 out of every 20 websites, right? Because I use the sample. I'm guessing that it's representative, although we know it's not. For right now, I'm guessing that it's representative. So we take our constant of proportionality, multiply it by your 300 million, and we get that 165 million websites get more than 1 million hits a day. But that is not accurate because my sample is not representative. So while we can make the estimate, we do not know that the estimate is actually true. So we can make the estimate, but we're not certain that the estimate is true. So try that method on the got it to estimate, what are we estimating there? Cars on the highway, how many red cars? So estimate how many total red cars there would be on the highway. You took a sample of 40 cars, and you found that 16 of them are red.
It says
I
60.
am melting. 16.
Oh, no, it says 60 and 60. No,
Highway 60. You gotta read, dude.
That you can see, so like there could be cars blocked by big cars.
Yeah, but would that make a bias in color? Would what cars I can or can't see, would that make a bias in my data? Because the cars that I'm able to see, I didn't like choose those specifically based off anything. I can just see them, right? So there might be a bias, but we assume that my biases are canceling each other out. How do I find my constant of proportionality here? Shahib, you're, well, no. Sorry. Already called me. Seth, you're the next card.
Okay, so you take the 16 red cars and then put it on top of the 40.
So we have what I was looking for out of the total that I looked at. I know that I can simplify this. They're both divisible by 4. So I can get 4/10, which makes my life way easier to work with. 0.4. Then Ella, not here today. Ella, feel better. Hopefully you watch this. Jackson, what do I do with that constant of proportionality?
You multiply the 1,165 by 0.40 and you get 466.
Yeah, my estimate will be my CP, my constant of proportionality, times the population. So, like Jackson said, 0.4 times the 1,165, and you got 466. And we label that red cars on Highway 60.
So are all the other cars blue?
No, there's other colors. Blue or black or white or green. All we cared about was how many are red. Prompt?
So would it be biased if you're colorblind?
Yes. You should not be collecting data on color if you are colorblind. That is a bad decision. All the cars are gray. Questions on this? That gray is darker than that gray. This is weird. So so funny math. 10% of males are color deficient, not necessarily colorblind, but they don't see colors correctly. So my brother-in-law, we were down visiting, and actually we'll skip this. We're done essentially for today. But we were down visiting, and they start talking about St. Patrick's Day. He was flying home on St. Patrick's Day because he has to fly a lot for work. And he chose this shirt thinking, oh, I'll wear this because it's green and, it's St. Patrick's Day. So he gets home, and my sister, his wife, was like, you know it's St. Patrick's Day, right? And he was like, yeah, I know, right? Like, and she was like, you're not wearing green. He was like, yeah, I am. The shirt is green. It was like a plaid sort of thing. And she was like, no, it's gray. He was like, no, it's green. She was like, no, it's not. So they pulled the shirt out while we were down there, and they're like, all right, we have a panel of judges now. What color is the shirt? So, yeah, it was
Black
gray.
and blue.
It was in the right light. I could see how you would think it was kind of like, you know, one of those dark, kind of like hunter-y green sort of colors, but no, it was gray.